It is Friday morning, and in the evening it starts Shabbat, and I need to go out and buy me some food, and it's tomorrow is it New Year Eve, so it's the last day on 2022. So I don't know if it's something to go out and eat tomorrow. So in case there is no, I need to have food for that day evening also. I have two soup, this in the cup soup, but that is not much food. And I wake up late for the breakfast because my phone was in my bag, so I didn't hear it. So I have just been eating breakfast, and it's 10:22 now, and I'm going to take my medicine now. It's for this one is for digest in my stomach, as my pancreas is bad. And then I have one for coffee, one pill, but I don't take more than one. I take that in the morning to get my body start to move around. And then I have one for to not get sour in my stomach. I get that even if I have this digest medicine. And then is it one that is for the heart that I didn't take for for 2 weeks or more here in Israel. So and I start to be better now when I take it. So this is the medicine I take first, because I can hold track on them, because they are in a box that is hard counter. Those other is in soft boxes, so I can see the difference. So I know what I taking. So now I'm taking the first medicine. Now I let it go down a little and talk it to you again until for some minutes, and then I take the other medicine, and that is medicine for the the high blood pressure I have, and that is it. That's the only medicine I have, and that I take in the morning for to last the whole day, 24 hours. And now the breakfast is starting, the night coffee start to come up. And where was God angry at Israel as a country, people in Israel? And that is Romans 1, 8 and 18. Romans Romans 1 and 18 and going to 32. and I can tell that God is not happy for what's going on today. It's very bad. It's so very bad that they have make this country to be a Disneyland. And they want money the whole time. And they try to trick me to give them money. And they say the whole time they are saying this to me, I will give you this. And then after a little while they say they want money for that they gave me. So what they say is for giving, to give me, that is the same thing they want to sell something for me. And I was in their Jaffa gate for some days ago, and he wanted 2,800 shekel for a cheap necklace. And I say I don't wear any jewelers, and I show him on my body I don't have anything, because I don't believe in dead things. I don't believe in jewelers. That's not my God, I say to him. But still he say, oh, you have someone that you can give this to. And I say, I don't have it. And then just before I left, I think he was down to 800 shekel for that necklace. And I have said that the whole time. I don't wear any jewelers. I don't wear any jewelers. That's why people in Sweden, they see me as a poor woman. So that can't be someone that God take to Jerusalem, that she don't even have necklace. She don't have any jewelers on her. She don't have lots of fancy clothes. She don't act like a Christmas tree with all things in it. It's can't be someone God love, that is from God, this woman. So if I can't see the picture of her look like she is from God, because she should have a nice car, she should have all the money in her pocket, and she should have all these fancy clothes, and she should have lots of gold and diamonds on her if she is from God. And that is a lie. That it's a lie they have been fed with, that a person should look like that. It's mostly he, and little she, must look like success. And that is, I agree to it in business, in worldly business. You're selling lots of cars and you show that you have lots of money. But that is not the same to be successful in God. That God is not a business. We can say God's business, but that is God's interest. That is what it is. It's not a business. It's not about money, not at all. Uh, and that I learned very early, that God is not money. It was when I was on the bus, and it was in United States, and someone had stolen my Walkman, and I love music, so I go and buy a Walkman for me in a store, and in the bus I say to God in my mind that he have taught me that I can talk to him in my mind and pray to him in my mind. I don't need to open my mouth or do something else with the body to show people that I'm a holy person. That's not what you should do. It's between you and God, and what you pray and what you're talking about to him. And so I say that I'm sorry for, I try to collect, save money for to buy me an airplane ticket back to Sweden when I was in United States and was homeless. And I try, and that was money that I should have to airplane ticket. And I say that to God, forgive me for buying this Walkman, I say to him. And he go like a little angry at me. So he say that, don't you understand that I have all the money? It's not a part of money I have all of the money. And I have a treasure to take it from. He said that to me. And I understood that it was stupid of me, so I asked him forgive that I say this. But then later on it happened that in the evening I was I had all the money for an airplane ticket to Sweden in my pocket, in my bag, and the money was stolen from me. And I go home and was very sad, but I have been in the church on the Sunday, and I heard this woman telling us that we should not be angry at God because we are losing things in our life. That there is evil things going on in the world that do those things, and we should worship God and thank God because we still are alive. It's only dead things they stealing from us, but they don't steal our life. And I remember that when they took all my money. And I also have that I was working for this Muslim in their home, and I was staying in their home. So, and the woman in the family, she say I should be fired and I have to go away from where I was. Then I lost my bed to sleep in, and a place where I could hide from evil things. And then I have lost all the money I should have to buy an airplane ticket for. And then I remember that the woman on Sunday, she say these things, that we should be happy that they couldn't steal our life. So I was singing and was happy and jumping around in my room, and I thank God that they didn't kill me. They didn't took a knife and cut out my face. They didn't do. They only steal the money, and so I think the Muslim woman heard it, that I praise God that they didn't steal my life, because she opened the door and say, "You stay here," she said to me. So I got my bed back. I got my work back. And then next day, my daughter's father called me from Sweden, and he said that I don't want my daughter's mother to be killed in United States, so I will send you a ticket, airline ticket back to Sweden, he said. So I got the money back also in that way, so I could later on fly back to Sweden. So the money, it had no really value. It's something that make you be here on earth, that you can buy things that feed you and you can stay in a home. The money is for you to live in your life, but it doesn't protect you from to be killed, or it doesn't help you to recover you in that way. In itself, the money, it's many ways the money can help, of course, but it's not what people think. It's today, as I see it here in Jerusalem, I see that they have built up a golden calf here in Jerusalem. They think everything is about money, and lie and steal, forget those money. That's what they do today, and that is, they are not going to be unpunished, because it says in this Roman 1 and verse 18 to 32, that God doesn't forget what they are doing and how they have changed to be a holy people, and they are not holy at all today. They are thieves, big thieves, and try to get out money from people. And yesterday I didn't have, I be so thirsty on a Coke that someone was drinking in the hotel. So I asked, where can I buy a Coke, I say. And then the man from the kitchen, that is like a manager for the kitchen for the breakfast, he took me over the street to a place where they have Coke, and I buy. She took one Coke, and she wanted the same price as I can buy 1.5 liter Coke for here in Israel. She wanted that for a can of 3 deciliter, those smallest can you can buy. She wanted the same price. So the man that was with me, he took one more can and give me. But that was very little for that much money. And then in the evening, I sit at the hotel and I say, where is a big store to buy? I need to buy sodas, those big sodas. Where can I find it? And the man said, it's only over the street. There is a little bar restaurant, and I didn't want to go there because it was a druggy place that they do selling drugs. And I heard it because I was inside there for a long time and talking to this woman that had this place, and she had been to the university, and her parents was from Africa, she told me. So she was very good in English, so we sit and talk a little. And then the man in the hotel, he said, you can buy from that place over the street a Coke, he said to me. But I said to him that it's too expensive. I don't want to buy those expensive sodas they have there, I say. And then the man got angry when I told him what they have done to me. And then he called for them. Now it was a man that was selling in these little cafes, like. I say that when I was sitting there inside, it was this music that those that do drugs listen at. It was from like Woodstock music, and but this man, he come with and then they give me the cheapest thing. It's soda that is only water, and it was this small 30 centiliter soda style with no flavor or only water. And he gave me that because I have paid so much money for the soda. And that was a lie. They do it all the time. And I was to McDonald's, and the machine, I pay with my card in the machine, and it was about $50 for the food. It was way too much for the food I bought. And the woman that she looked into the bag I had bought, and I saw in her face she knew it was too much money I was buying this hamburger for. And she in her face, you can see when people lie, when they are like, it's not only a little lie, it's when they are white in their face and look like they staring in some place in the air. She looked like that, and but she didn't say anything. She not corrected, so I buy that. But I knew when I come back to my room, I check up the money I had paid, and I look at it and exchange it to Swedish money, so I saw how much money I have given. and that was a big dinner I had paid for. But she did. It was not that the machine took that money. It was that she didn't correct it. So she was a thief. The machine is a machine. But she was checking out, is it true that this will cost her this lots of money? And she looked in the bag what it was. That was so very expensive. And she could tell there was nothing. It was a Fisher burger in it. And it was not a soda because I had a soda at home. So I only wanted a hamburger. So it's everywhere. And I'm glad that I'm going back to Sweden on Monday. And I have dated this taxi driver 3 times because it was something special that he come with a taxi just when I left Rock of Dome. And not that I left the Rock of Dome, it was that I fulfilled what I have done in 22 years for God. All the suffering, everything was gone. Now, a spirit is here that want to talk to you. I don't know what it is. I'm going to end taking up the medicine first, and I will. He's in my face now. He's on my shoulder and face. I want to tell something, so I take the medicine later on, and this for high blood pressure, because the spirit have to go first. He is saying that you have not told what happened about the spirit thing. And I say that I will come to it before I end this episode. He say he's waiting for me to tell you, and then he want to talk to us. He only remind me. So I will tell you what happened, because I started to say that I have dated this taxi driver that live here in Jerusalem 3 times, and last time in the night before I date him, it was the whole heaven was in my room, and they were like a little that they couldn't disagree to each other. There were a little turbulence. It was a little much fighting with words, and I don't know why they were doing these things. But I heard that they was telling me that I should give this taxi driver 2,000, they say. And I was thinking, 2,000, what? They didn't say if it was Swedish crowns, if it was dollar or shekel. And I didn't have so much in shekel, in cash. And I had dollar, but not so much dollar. And I exchanged it to Swedish crowns, and I know how much it was. If it was shekel they were talking about, and I took it because I had cash, because the spirit told me before I left Sweden, for long before I left Sweden, that I should have some US dollar also with me, not only shekel, but also American dollar. So I exchanged it to dollar and took with me, and that was very good that I had, because that hotel in Copenhagen's airport, they didn't take cash, so they took me to another hotel that take cash. They took US dollar in cash, and I could stay there, but it was very much money to stay there. But that was the only option I had to pay in American dollar, because I had only shekel with me, because I thought I should go directly to Israel. But then it was this COVID-19 insurance I needed to buy, and I didn't have any money to stay at the hotel, because it should take 2 days to get the insurance, and it was no idea for me to travel back home. I was thinking I should stay in a hotel close to the airport. So I did, and I still had my cash dollar with me, and that I exchanged it to US dollar and place it in the envelope to give this taxi driver, and he come to meet me, because I said I had things to tell you and something with me that you should have, and he come and took me out, and I say, you were very busy today, because I had to wait for a long time until he come to the hotel. And he say, I have to stay busy because I have a bill to pay, and I don't have that money to give the bank. But the bank called me today and was very angry, and they say, you have until tomorrow to give us those money for the taxi car. The taxi driver, they own their cars, and so he had to pay. I don't know why he didn't have the money, because they are very busy, the taxi driver. But he said to me that when he was to Bethlehem that day, and he said it was a group of people, but the man that sent them to Bethlehem and called for the taxi to take them to Bethlehem, he got the money from the people. Not my boyfriend didn't get it. So he had some money maybe to get later in the evening or next day. But it was not really sure and how much he got. So he was very nervous. And I don't know why he didn't have the money for the car. But that was what they told me in the night, that I should give him money. So he didn't say that he wanted money from me. He said he had very hard to get those money to give the bank for his car. So as I told him that it's not a good business to be in to be a taxi driver, I say. It's not a good business, but to be in God's business, that is good. And you should change your business, I say to him. And he thought his mindset was on his car, because I had said that in the first date. I say that I have a business to make together with you, I say, because I knew it was he that God gave me when I have just finished my work for God. In that way I should be educated. I am educated today, so I left God's school or heaven's school, and he come after 10 minutes. I have been walking and be educated in 22 years, and have not got the real man for me to help me in my work for God, because I continue to work for God, but I'm educated and know everything in God's way to see it, and heaven's way to see it, and heaven talk to me, and God is talking to me. And so I knew when because it was a taxi driver standing there when I come out from Rock of Dome, and he didn't want to take me, and he said I'm waiting for a group of people to come in my taxi, he said. But so I sit down and waiting for a taxi to come, and I saw this taxi driver that waiting for a group. He took in one woman in his taxi and drive away. So that was not true. It was a lie. And then this man come and come very quick to take me up. And he said he was in love in me immediately. But he is a man of nature. So he saw it as a sexual thing. What he felt was the nature in him that he thought. He is so far from God, but in some way he want to know God, because I have told him what I knew about him from the Spirit, that he's searching for something else than to drive a taxi car. So I knew, and the first thing was that he said, "Teach me your God." He was saying that, and I wondered why did he say that. But yesterday when I was with him, he said that he saw me as someone that he has seen before, that we were connected to each other in some way, he said. And I say to him, he's Muslim, educated from parents, so they believe in the afterlife. And I say to him that we maybe have been married before in another life, or we have been children, we have been siblings, or something like that. So you have a little memory of it, that act like this, I say. We have been connected in another life. So he accepted, and he don't say anything about it. And yesterday, when he had told me about all his problems, I say, heaven have talked to me about you and me, and in the night, and I have very hard to sleep because they were like fighting about something that But it was a woman that stood before everyone, that had the leader. It was not my mother either. It was a very slim, a little tall woman. For to be a woman, she was tall. And I say, I always do what they say to me in heaven. So I have something for you, I say. After that, he had told me about his money problem with the car. And I say, they told me to give you money. And I have only $1 to give you. And he be so shocked when I say that. And I told him, I don't know if it's fit into your bill. But they say, this amount of money should I give you? So I give him the envelope with the American dollar. And he was so shocked. I was like, did they say that to you, to give me this money? He said, and he was so happy. So he was a little crying. And later on he said, I love you, Eva. No, I say not, I love you, Eva, because in Israel I am called I say my first name, and the first name is Anna. So he say, I love you, Anna. And I tell you, no one have say this to me, no one. And I say I love you also, because I like him. But I hope it will be real love between us, even if he's a little crazy. But maybe he need to be crazy to understand better. It's not me that have the control, it's heaven. And yesterday I told him that I'm leaving on Monday back to Sweden. And he wanted to drive me to the airport and say goodbye to me on the airport. He wanted to be the last one that say goodbye to me. And that was nice. And one thing that make him look like he is from God sent, because he know English, he know Arabic, and he know Hebrew. And that can make me, that he is talking to those people that can't know English, so he can talk to them in Arabic and in Hebrew, what is going on. What in my podcast I can make it increase all this message into Hebrew and Arabic. That should be very, very, very nice. That was a sign that God was sending him. But he is very, very far from to be understand this with the spirits. He have been taught from parents, like most people have done. And those parents have had wrong, and the generation before them have wrong, and it had going on error in many generations. So he must start almost like you knew, be born again. So because he have been taught in wrong ways in many things, like everyone else, that Catholic Church, Lutheran Church, those all kind of religious groups have taught the children to believe in these lies. So he must be trained. But I saw his Facebook, and I see that he have studied at the university, so he is not stupid. So, and I can't have this. I had a man 2010, but he didn't believe in God, but it was like God gave me a rest a little from to be by myself. But he didn't believe in God, and he didn't understood what happened. It happened many things when we were together, but he was zero in understanding it, and I couldn't be with him. So this man is a little more, that he is smarter than the other that I had. He was nice but stupid. I can't have that kind of man if I should work for heaven and for God's will, what he wants me to do. I can't have a man that say, no, do you really believe in these things? He should not stop me. And that I maybe is this man. It's not going to stop me. That he understand, because I said to him yesterday that now you get evidence. Heaven gave you an evidence that this is true, because you have not told me that you had money trouble, you had problems with the money, and you say that before I told you that heaven say I should give you some money. And now, in the breakfast, the manager for the breakfast, he is not really into religion. He don't believe in God. But I had told him and that Jewish woman that give me money, give me food. And I was told them that I was waiting for this taxi driver, I say, because heaven have told me that I should give him some money, I say to them. And now I see it was very wrong to say it, but I wanted to talk to someone. It's be like that when you don't have any family, no one that believe you. You have to tell someone. And I did that. And they say to me that give us also money, because we have given you many things, and you can give us money. And then I say, it's like I pay for what you are giving me. And those things that you have given me to eat, that is not the kind of food that I eat normally. But I had to eat that food I got because I can't walk out every day and buy food for me. It's too dangerous for me. I can fall out in the traffic. You have seen me, how bad I'm walking, I say to them. And so I told them, it's like, but I say there is other things to give you than money. I say to them, you don't need to talk. You only think it in your brain, and you will be given it. And I don't know what they say in the brain, but the Jewish woman, she almost got angry at me, and she didn't want to do it. But I say after a little while, there is one that have say what he need to, what this person need for its life. I say not the gender. And they be surprised. I say, what? Who? She, the woman. And I say this, the man there, the manager for the breakfast. And he says something in Arabic that I know. He say that something positive, that she knew that I was thinking, and that he did it. So it will come to him, so he will know that this was true. I say to them, they only thinking in money, and you that is my followers, you should not, that is the last thing you should think, that everything is about money. Because the Jewish woman, she wanted to know about her future. And I say, I'm not a foreteller. I don't know the future at all. I only know here and now. I say, so she was in this foreteller things. But I say, it's a spirit here. So I will ask the spirit to show me or tell me. And then I got a sight. I got a picture of someone. It looked like she was sewing. It was laying like a fiber on the table, and she was sitting and sewing like that. And the woman, the Jewish woman, she said, should I sew things? What is it you see? What are you talking about? And then the spirit say, bank. It's a bank. So I say, the spirit know that you don't understand, or I don't understand what it is. The spirit is showing me. But it's about the bank, that you should work in the bank. And she said, I need to have education for that. She said, I don't have that education. But I say that if you don't ask, you never get it. You don't know how they will do it for you. But then she had the answer by herself. She got the spirit answer, because she said that they maybe can take me in and train me to be something in the bank, she said. So I say, that's how you do it. You only tell something that this is a nice place. I should love to work in the bank. You maybe say it like that to someone in the bank, and they open a door for you. It's not only about paper. And then I told about United States, that they never look at my papers, but they did a test how I was working together with other people, and then I got my job without they know what skill I had or what education I had. And I was a supervisor for a big mall. I had 10 people under me that was working for me. And so I got it without showing any education paper. I told her. And but of course it didn't last for a long time for me to be a supervisor, because the manager for my contract, he lost it because he was not a businessman. So we all had to go. That was in this team. But I was a supervisor for a little while, for some weeks. So everything can happen, and this is for you also that listen, that if you don't open your mouth, you will not get it, because people they can't know what you're thinking, where you're coming from, where you are today, and what you want and can be able to could do if you don't open your mouth. It can start with a normal talk, and then you say, that's a great place you work in. I would love to work in that place, and ask how to do it. And then maybe they say, you come with me and I will show you, and then you are in there. So, and it's, of course, it depends on how you look like. You need to be clean, have clean clothes and clean hair, and not be as a Christmas tree. Too much things on you and too much makeup. That you can never have a good job for. You can have a temporary job for that. But you should be modest. What God is telling us, to be modest. And I am maybe cut down, maybe too much, but I want to not wear any jewelers. I don't. It's many years since I stopped to do makeup, and I don't make my hair. I let the hair dry wash it, and let it lay there. I don't take anything to dry it with. I let it only hang and be in that way it want to be. And so it's not much fake on me. It's enough fake with the world we live in today. And I am not going to call my boyfriend to drive me to the airport, because I want to be sure to come to the airport. And I have already bought. When I was in Sweden, I ordered and paid for a taxi to come and take me to the Tel Aviv. So I do that 1 o'clock, should they come and get me. Because if they not show up, then I can call my boyfriend to come. I don't do that in another order. I don't call him, and he said to me yesterday that I should delete the taxi to come and get me. I make sure that I am coming to Tel Aviv, to the airport, because I want to go home, because I don't want to be in this thief society. I don't. This is not the Holy Land, and you know, I have told you before that the God's people is God's. It's a nation. It's a person. It's Jacob that was named Israel, and it was God didn't appointed it to a country. He gave it to Jacob, and not many of today is from Jacob, or acting and talking and live their lives like it into Jacob's lineage. So it's not the Holy Land, but they say it, and for me it sounds like Disneyland. when they say Holy Land. That's what they have been taught to say, because the tourists want them to tell them you are in the Holy Land. Oh, you are in Disneyland. you know, I know you're laughing, some of you. You understand this, and and they are building houses and kick away ordinary people to be close to the center of Jerusalem, because they want a Disneyland, and that's how they did with Disneyland when it started to be too big, and they have to make a. I have been to Disneyland in Paris twice. I have been, and they built Disneyland all over the world, and that's what they do with the Holy Land, to create money, because they love money here. Money, money, money. I love money also, but that is in the right way, to not store it in the bank. I act on the money. I could have taken those about $10,000 I got to come to Jerusalem. I could have make my home very, very beautiful home. I maybe could have buy me a home and these things, but I knew, because heaven told me that I should touch the Golden Gate, and I find out that the Golden Gate was in Jerusalem, so I knew that I should go to Jerusalem for those money. So these people around me here in Jerusalem think that I have lots of money, and I should spend them, those money on them, and they don't understand at all. And I tell them, but they don't understand. I say that this money I have got from God to come to Jerusalem to fulfill what was in my life to do for God and heaven. So I did it, and this is God's money, and it's not to be going to people money to give them. I have never given out money before this time in Jerusalem. I have never given out money, because money can buy drugs, money can buy alcoholic, money can go to something ungodly, to make tattoos on the bodies like that, and I don't support evil things. And if I give money, that means the money is not, it's for unknown things. But this time, heaven told me to give this man. They were talking about him and me, and they say that I should give him those money. And when they say that, I felt like they wanted to test him in that way, to give him this money, to change his mind, to understand that if he going with me, he will get much more money. He should go and get a better life than what he have today with this taxi that is so stressful for the taxi driver, that he have another way to go. That's what they wanted with that money. It's not to pay his bills. It was to show him that there is another way to make life better for you and for other people around you. Because he should be tool to reach more people all over the world in my podcast. And he don't need to drive in this crazy, stressful city there is in Jerusalem. And he can sit in my home and recording podcast for in Hebrew and Arabic, and create money in that way, because people support us to could live a decent life, and maybe to could move to a better place than those neighbors upstairs that is so much into the floor, doing damage things for us, that we can move to a more calm place. And I know he loves to have the pigeons doves, so maybe pays a little out from the city and have those doves here in Sweden. And I don't need to go up 4 o'clock in the morning. He go up to drive those people that is working in bakery and restaurants to go to their job, and then he is not done before midnight. We're driving the taxi in a very stressful traffic, and then he can instead to be with me in Sweden. And this morning I remember that he can also get money to take care of me because I'm disabled. So I can have a person taking care of me the whole day, so he gets paid for that. So there is so much better life to come and be with me. And it doesn't matter that he may be not good in sexual things, because it's not about sexual things. It have with God to do. It's have with heaven to do. It's a spirit thing. It's not a body thing. It's not literally at all. So I don't care who he is in the bed. It's about God we are doing. And that is the most important. God is always come first. And you know, God is the one that he don't have anyone around him. He is not 3 people, 3 spirits in him. He is standing alone, but not alone in that way that we think he is the one. And then he have many people around him. I have taught you about it. I have talked about how God was created. I also have told you that the Spirit have told me everything, and I tell you, because I am what it says, a prophet from God, even if I am a woman, and men deny me and work against me. But I'm okay. Heaven know everything what's going on. So it's so very bad that I come to know about people. They have a title, they have like a religion they can say they are from, but they are not doing God's will, and they don't listen at God. They make themselves a gold calf today, and it's very sad. I wish it was a holy land, for real, but it is a Disneyland, and I'm glad to come back to Sweden. And I will tell, I'm going to have my boyfriend coming and get me today, because I need to buy food and sodas for Sabbath, and maybe is it for New Year Eve to not could go out to buy, so I need to buy it today. And I will tell him that we can continue to be together because it have nothing with our bodies to do. It have with the spirit connection to do. And that we can do. I have Wi-Fi and good computers in Sweden, and we can sit and talk, and we can show each other our life in two countries, and then one day we can be together. That I'm going to tell him, that he should think about it to come to me in Sweden, because yesterday he said that he loved me, and I have to go about that he is divorced, so he don't have a family. So I hope it is like that he is free to come to Sweden. And I have to be careful so I don't send money to him for him to come to Sweden. He had to do it by himself. And he said that those bills for the taxi, I had not exactly the money for the bill, but he said it was okay because he can borrow from friends. And when he said that, I know he can borrow to come to Sweden. I'm going to ask him if he have a passport, because I think he travels sometimes abroad. I will say it's not me that have the control. Heaven have all the control. That you should know. Heaven have all the control over your life. So it's to go for what they show you and teach you and what they are telling you. And what the Bible is saying, that we should see if it's true or if it's a fake thing. The only thing you can do is have the real contact with God and heaven, and they will tell you and they will show you if it is true or not. So thank you for have listened. It'll be a long episode, but I hope you listen on everything. I don't remember if the Spirit was talking to you, because sometimes they come into my body and talk without I know they have done it, and I don't know what they have said, so I need to go back and listen to the recording to see what they have said. So maybe this time, I don't know, because I don't know if the Spirit that was on me, I know he was saying that I should talk about this with the money to the taxi driver, but I don't know if he say anything more. So thank you for listening. I love you, and thank you for your support to me.